Long before empires were measured by maps and satellites, there was a city that believed it was the center of the world. Its walls were so wide that chariots raced along the top. Its gates gleamed with bronze. Its gardens seemed to float in the air, stacked with trees and flowers, watered by clever machines that pulled rivers upward against gravity itself. This was Babylon. And at the heart of Babylon stood its king, Nebuchadnezzar. He was not a small man, either in body or ambition. He had conquered nations, crushed rebellions, and carried kings away in chains. When he spoke, scribes hurried. When he dreamed, wise men trembled. When he looked upon his city, he believed deep down that the world existed to prove his greatness. But God had been watching this king for a long time. Nebuchadnezzar was a man haunted by dreams. One night, early in his reign, he dreamed of a great statue, a head of gold, chest of silver, belly of bronze, legs of iron, and feet mixed with iron and clay. Then a stone, cut not by human hands, struck the statue's feet, and the whole thing collapsed into dust. The stone grew into a mountain that filled the earth. The king woke shaking. None of his magicians could explain it. Some tried. Some lied. But one young exile from Judah, a man named Daniel, spoke plainly. The statue was a story of kingdoms. Babylon was the golden head, but it would not last forever. God alone ruled history. Nebuchadnezzar listened. For a moment, he even bowed. But pride is patient. It waits. Years passed. Victories piled up. The city grew richer, stronger, louder. And slowly, the dream of the statue changed inside the king's heart. Gold, he thought. Why only the head? So he built his own statue this time, all gold. Towering. Blinding in the sun. He ordered every official, every ruler, every musician to bow when the music played. And when 3 young men refused, saying they would worship only their God, the king's face twisted with rage. He threw them into a furnace so hot that the soldiers who pushed them in died on the spot. But inside the fire, something impossible happened. Nebuchadnezzar stood up from his throne, eyes wide. "I see 4 men," he said, "walking unharmed. And the 4th, he looks like a son of the gods." The fire did not touch them. Not their skin. Not their hair. Not even the smell of smoke clung to them. Once again, the king praised God. Once again, he did not change. Then came the second dream. This one was simpler and more terrifying. Nebuchadnezzar dreamed of a great tree in the middle of the earth. It grew tall enough to touch the sky. Its branches sheltered animals. Its fruit fed nations. Birds nested in its limbs. Then a watcher descended from heaven and cried out, "Cut down the tree. Strip its branches. Scatter its fruit. But leave the stump, bound with iron and bronze. Let him live like an animal. Let his mind be changed. Let 7 times pass over him until he knows that the Most High rules the kingdoms of men." The king knew this dream was different. He did not want to hear its meaning. Daniel hesitated before speaking. He wished the dream were for the king's enemies. But truth does not bend for comfort. The tree, Daniel said, was the king himself. If he did not humble himself, if he did not recognize that power was given, not earned, he would be driven from human society. He would live like a beast, eating grass, until he learned who truly ruled. Daniel begged him, "Change your ways. Show mercy. Break with pride." Nebuchadnezzar nodded. And did nothing. 12 months later, the king walked on the roof of his palace. Below him stretched Babylon walls, temples, markets, gardens, towers. The city glowed in the afternoon light like a jewel laid out for display. And the king said aloud, to no one and to everyone, "Is this not great Babylon, which I have built by my mighty power, for the glory of my majesty?" The words had barely left his mouth before the echo faded. A voice answered from heaven. The judgment spoken in the dream fell like lightning into reality. Nebuchadnezzar's mind shattered. The king who commanded armies fled the palace. The ruler of nations crawled into fields. His reason slipped away like water through fingers. He ate grass like cattle. Rain soaked his hair until it matted like feathers. His nails grew long and claw-like. Seasons passed 1, 2, 7. The city continued without him. Babylon did not fall. The world did not end. And somewhere in the dirt, the greatest king alive learned what it meant to be small. Then, one day, something changed. Nebuchadnezzar lifted his eyes. Not to walls. Not to statues. Not to himself. To heaven. And when he did, his mind returned. He stood again not in pride, but in clarity. And the first thing he did was not issue commands or rebuild his image. He praised God. He declared that all people are nothing compared to the Most High. That God does as he pleases with the powers of heaven and earth. That no one can stop him or question his hand. His kingdom was restored. But he was not the same king. Nebuchadnezzar, the conqueror, learned a truth more powerful than armies. That greatness borrowed from God is not owned by man. That pride can build cities, but only humility can keep a soul. And his story was written down not to glorify Babylon, or even to shame a king, but to warn every ruler, every nation, every human heart that stands on a rooftop and says, "Look what I have done." Because the sky is closer than it looks. And sometimes, the fall is the lesson.